Hey, everybody. If you're joining us on the ASTE or the ASTA Facebook page, glad to have you here. It's Carm Capriato. I have been honored enough here to moderate a panel all about AST that's coming up in 57 days from right now. I'd love you to see my panel right here. We've got some great people that are here to talk about why you should go to ASTE Thursday, September 29th through Saturday, October 1st. Trisha, Sawz. Yeah, I don't know how much work you're putting into this, but you know, the closer we get, the more intense it gets. Right, Trish?
It's very true. It's ramping up a lot right now, so we're really getting excited.
Well, thank you for being here. Trisha Sawz, the executive director of ASTA. I'll explain to everyone what ASTA is, just in case you don't know. Mark Pons was supposed to be with us. He's obviously not here. President of ASTA and from Chapel Hills Tire. But Kim Walker's here from Shop Marketing Pros. Hi, Kim.
Hey, Carm. Thanks for having me today, Trisha. I appreciate you asking.
I'm so glad you were able to join us.
Yes, us too. Rick White, 180 Biz. Hey, Rick.
Hey, everybody. How y'all doing? Trish, I'm just honored to be here. So thank you.
Two of the trainers, Kim and Rick, are two of the trainers at ASTE. And guys, I think you've been doing this for quite a while now. I mean, you're veterans at ASTE, which is always great. So we're going to not only talk about the training that's going on, the fun we're going to have, that you've got 57 days to sign up. But I also want to tell everyone that ASTA, Automotive Service and Tire Alliance, came from the merge of the IGONC, the Independent Garage Owners of North Carolina, and the North Carolina Tire Dealers Association. And what an incredible idea to get together and merge and become ASTA.
Yeah, it was the right time and such an easy fit for both organizations to do this. We have the same long-term interests and goals in mind and supporting the industry. So it just kind of fell into place and it's been going really, really great.
So look at, if this broadcast episode motivates you to say, yeah, I got to get there. And I went last year, I went the year before, and I skipped last year because of COVID and wow, what all that stuff is going on. I think it's all behind us. And I think you're probably going to sell out very, very soon. And if you haven't registered, let's put up the link. It's asteshow.com. And I got to tell you, if you've not been to the Southeast's most premier event, both in training and the expo itself, it is one of the best shows, training expos you're going to go to. And I'm not here selling and promoting because trust me, this is going to sell out. I mean, we're not here. We're just here to remind you. We're just here to remind you. Thursday, September 29th through October 1st. Rick, just before we went on, you were saying that part of the training that you're doing at ASTE is all about owner training.
Yep. We're doing 3 classes. I don't even know how many years we've been there, Trisha.
A long time.
I think we're going on 7 or 8 years nonstop now. It's awesome. The ASTE show is one of my favorite shows. If you have never been, I have clients from all over the country and Canada that go down to North Carolina for this training and expo. But I'm telling you, you go down there as a shop owner, you leave as family. And that's one of the amazing things about this. I don't know how they do it. It might be in the food or in the water. I don't know. But I'm telling you, it's absolutely amazing. So we're going to be doing a training class on becoming a talent magnet. I mean, everybody needs that. There isn't anybody looking for help right now, right? But then we're going to be doing a second class that's called coaching and counseling for employee success. And that's all about, yeah, we want better people. We want different people. We want more people. But what do we do with the people we have, right? How do we get them better? And that's what that training class is all about. And then the last one is called going from chief everything officer. Think of the Staples commercials from a couple of years ago where you got IT Dave and, maintenance Dave and salesman Dave. So you go from chief everything officer to chief executive officer. So many people don't realize that it's kind of like a path and a journey we've got to go through. and people are getting stuck. And the goal of that class is to help you to recognize where you're at, where you want to go, and some things that you can do to get there. So we'd love to have you in there. And I'm telling you, I love this show, Casino Night. That's a lot of fun. The banquet is great. But I'm telling you, you go one time and you'll go every time. So please give it a try. You're going to be amazed.
You know, Trisha talks so much on the podcast for 7 years now about networking and 20 Group, be it local, be it national, be it online. What a way to network. And the secret, Rick, Kim, please chime in. The secret to networking, and I'm sure you do this in your classes, is you've got a full class. Say there's 300 or 400 in the class. I'm sure you're helping make the introductions to the left or the right of you, because there are some people that just won't make that move, won't leave with new friendships, won't leave building their network, won't leave satisfied that not only do they get the training, but they got insights from other people.
I think, go ahead, Trisha. I'm sorry.
Oh, we have the entire event in one location. So it enables us to have lunch all together, breakfast all together. You know, we have our casino night. You're going to be with the vendors, the speakers come. Everybody is like family. And our organization is very much like that. ASTA, our board, the members themselves, when we have meetings, it's such a great group that it's really hard not to pass along that vibe, I guess, the culture that we've kind of created at the show, where everybody's glad to see one another. It's like family, you're getting back together. And I think it lends itself to the networking, because everybody's able to relax because they're just really excited to see one another.
Yeah, I'll tell you that I'm sorry, Rick.
Go ahead.
We first started attending as shop owners. So it's, you know, we've been same thing with a couple of other conferences, but this one was right in our backyard. I mean, our shop was in Apex, North Carolina, literally like, what, Trisha, like 10 minutes away?
One town over. Yeah, we're right next door.
And it was at these events, seriously, this one being one of the first ones, where we realized we're not alone, and we meet other shop owners and experience those relationships. And it got to where, you know, you can't wait to go back, because you get to catch up with those people and, you know, just check in and see how things are going. Now, of course, we have Facebook, and so you can stay in touch that way, but we couldn't back then. And I remember, I think it was last year when I was teaching, that in my class, I'm like halfway through I'm literally in the middle of teaching, and I guess the door was open, and Chris from Auto text me, kind of peeks his head in the door, and Scott Palava was sitting in the far back corner. And so literally from the door over here to the far back corner over here, there was this bromance that I'm like, what? Dude, I'm like, teaching, what are y'all doing? Because Scott's like, Chris, I haven't seen you, dude. How are you? And Chris is like, bring it in. They literally, in the middle of the class, come together for this big hug out session in the middle of the class. But it was so perfect, because on the very front row was a first-time attendee, this guy who's been in corporate America, literally like CEO of a big, huge company, decided, I'm doing something different, left the corporate world, bought a shop, was only like 6 or 8 months into his shop, was already about to reach the $1 million mark in this shop he just bought, and had enough knowledge to go get some training. And so he's sitting there on the front row, and he's like, and I saw his face. He's like, what is happening here? Like, is this some cult I'm in? Like, what's going on? And it was just the best thing, because I was able to, you know, I'm a teacher. I come from an educational background, so I'm all about the teachable moment. And so I just stopped and I said, if you haven't picked up on it yet, what just happened right here between Chris and Scott is why you're here. It's not really what I'm teaching you. It's what the networking happens, the networking that happens here, and those relationships that you build with coaches and vendors, but other shop owners. So it was really an incredible, my favorite teaching moment, I think, in the industry so far was that 3-minute little interruption.
Wow. How nice. Thank you for telling that story, because part of what I wanted to do here today, Trish, Kim, and Rick, was to tell some stories behind the scenes stuff instead of just sell, and these trainers are going to be here, because I think that, you know, I've got stories to tell about, you know, being at ASTE too. Rick, what you got one?
I'm going to tell on somebody you guys might know. His name is Lucas. I don't know if anybody's ever heard of Lucas before.
Not that guy.
Lucas actually went to ASTE the first time. He had been in business a bunch of years and not making any money. And he actually went to ASTE to get some technical classes because he was going to close his shop the following week and go to work as a tech again. And Bob Pulverenti, the director before Trisha, I don't know how he cornered Lucas or knew what he was doing or what was going on, but Lucas, he sat down with Lucas and said, Lucas, I want you to take 2 management classes. And he took one of my classes, and we started coaching the next week. And here it is. I think it's 4 years later or 5 years later. And he is now building, I believe it's a 10 or 14 bay garage, a shop. And it's just amazing for anybody that hasn't seen it. So it's amazing the people you can touch. Right. I love that. I love talking to people. I love listening to stories. One of my favorite questions is, how'd you get started in this industry? I just love to listen to the stories. Right. And Kim hit on a thing that is a thread that is just so true. You're not alone. You know, it's so easy for you. And there's so many shop owners out there struggling and really desperate for help, but not knowing where to get it. And sometimes it's a little prideful thing going on. But the reality is, if you've never experienced something, you can only manage and grow to the point you've been managed to. It doesn't work. But if you can come to one of these events and just let your hair down a little bit, let it open up just a little bit, I'm telling you, you're going to find out there's so many other people in the same situations you are. And this can literally be a lifeline. Right? For Lucas, it changed his entire life. You know what was really cool, Carm? And I'll tell you this. Lucas and his wife, Alex, wanted a second child. Jemmy, they had Jemmy. Jemmy's their daughter. Cute kid, right? They wanted a second child, and they didn't think they could afford it. Little Lucas is almost 3 years old now. And I was the first non-family member to hold him.
Wow.
That's what I do this for. Right? Not for the babies. I do this.
Well, Rick, you help make babies, huh?
I do have 7 children, and I do have the Bible says be fruitful and multiply. So, you know, I've done that, and I hope that's not my only claim to fame. But yes, I love children.
That is a great story, and you're right. I interviewed Ron Capps, the NHRA champion from 2021. An episode actually came out, I think, Tuesday. And he started his own race company, his own motorsports company. And in his interview with me, he talked about, I was a race car driver. What did I know about running a business? And he related it to the shop owners that he's met for so many years, having been sponsored by Napa. And it was such a great story in him telling the industry, if you're a tech and you don't know how to run a business, you better get some crash courses. In essence, Ricky was saying, go find a coach, right? Yeah. Or find someone to help you with all of this stuff. And if you're ready to start and you think you want to start a shop, don't do it without a crash course on business. And so many of the people that I have interviewed over the years will credit networking and coaching as the single biggest reason why their life is almost what they dreamt. Mm-hmm. And we're going to have all of those business courses, but ASTE is not necessarily always about business courses. Trisha, I know that half of, I think, the 50 courses are all about technology. And I know that shops close down and bring people there. I mean, it's going on in every major venue today where there's big money being spent on training, networking, camaraderie.
Absolutely. You know, we're really fortunate. The Garage Gurus are bringing their mobile classroom again this year. So they're going to really play a big part in the training. Advanced CTI training facility is in Raleigh. So this is the first year we're also going to have on-site or off-site hands-on training opportunities. So for example, Thursday, we added full day classes, but we added it as an add-on. So that way, if somebody can't close the shop the extra day, they can still come for the full event Friday and Saturday. But if they do have the ability to do so, they can do this Thursday add-on. And at CTI, Isaac Rodell is going to do an EV hands-on class where they're going to be in teams, and each one is going to have an actual vehicle that they can work on. And we have Seth Thorson coming in doing the Pico Scope class where he's going to have the car in the room, and they're going to be, you know, projecting the work that they're doing throughout the class onto the screen so that people can really get more of an idea of how it works in real life. And we have ownership, preparing your business for EV. So we're trying to really embrace technology. So like Carolyn from Shopware will be leading that class. And, you know, who better to tell you how to add EV and prepare your shop than somebody who's been doing it really well for a long time now. And we also have a service advisor class that day. So there's a lot of opportunity for shops to prepare themselves for technology as it's coming up before they realize that it's going to come up.
Well, and hey, Carm, you know, one of the things, I'm sorry for jumping in there.
No, Rick, go.
But one of the things that this event does that I think is awesome is they have like a shop ticket where for a very, very affordable price, you can pretty much bring the whole shop. I have clients from Indiana, Illinois, where else? Kansas, that are literally shutting their shops down and bringing everybody to this event. Okay. Yep. Ryan, look at that. Ryan's closed all 3 days as well, right? That's the thing to do if you can. And it's very, very affordable. So look into it. I highly recommend it. It's the only event I think that does that. It's the only one I'm aware of. And I think that's amazing.
Well, you know, you bring up such a great point, Rick, that as a coach, you've probably been whispering in the ears of your clients for months now to get their butt, not only themselves, but their entire team to ASTE. And, you know, here it is. It's an event that you're just recommending, but you know the value of it because you've been participating for years. You see the fruit of the investment of time. And, you know, listen, I believe training is an incredibly important pillar in the strategy of your business. And never before over the last 2 or 3 months, Rick, in the interviews that I've been doing, is I just continue to hear if we're going to retain our great people, and based on technician surveys that are done, they need and they want training. So if you're going to retain them, you need to have a commitment to training. It needs to have so many hours. You need to pay for it. You need to manage the resume and the classes that they're doing. And it can't be just like we're honest and we're ethical and we have this great vision. Oh, by the way, we have this incredible training commitment to training. And by the way, it's not only technicians, it's service advisors, it's the people in the shop, it's the CEO, it's an umbrella of training.
Absolutely. I think the only person that misses out is the maintenance person. We haven't got a good broom sweeping kind of class going yet, but you know, you're right. To bring the whole course, and I have talked up the show for years. I mean, I can think of somebody from Buffalo, Danny, right? Danny comes down, Dan Hensel comes down with his whole shop.
Yep.
Right. So we have clients, I'm sure that talking to them has helped, but once they go once, man, they just keep coming. And that's the beauty of this show. Okay. Trisha and her staff, and most of its volunteers, they really bust their butts to put this thing together. And it's for the industry. It's for the industry. So, you know, this is their labor of love. Come in and, you know, come and take advantage of it. It's, again, it's just off the charts good.
You know, I want to share when we're talking about networking, the importance of that, but also it is it's not everyone's gift, right? I live in that world. I was born to do that, but a lot of our shop owners were former techs, and we all know that lots of techs tend to be more introverted, right? And so when that's the case, and you're bringing in some, you know, you think that you tell them we're going away to this training. Some of them are dreading it. So give people the tools to make it more comfortable and feel better when they get there. And some of those networking tips, gosh, if I haven't written a blog about this, I probably should. But you know, some tips to feel better when you get there is really go into it with questions that you need asked. Like, do some little brainstorming before you get there and think, I really want to accomplish getting these questions answered when I'm there, and seek out the people that can answer those questions. But as a trainer, I see all the time that when people come in, they sit in their little chair on, you know, the middle to the back row. And they get on their phone, put that phone down, and look around and talk to the person sitting next to you. You know, simple questions. You know, lots of people don't like that idle small chat, or small talk, but that's what's going to get you into that deeper conversation. You know, so asking them, hey, where are you from? And, you know, what's the big thing you're hoping to accomplish here at the ASTE show? And, you know, even saying, you know what I'm struggling with? Have you encountered this in your shop yet? And you may be meeting your new best friend you didn't even know you needed, sitting right there in that class, but you may be creating a relationship that can save your business and therefore save your life. So when you're going in these classes, go into them with the expectation of learning more than what that trainer is going to teach you, but learning from the person sitting next to you, in front of you, behind you. And then lastly, out in the lobbies, break times and between classes and all of that, some of the best things you'll ever learn, or the best people you'll ever meet, is walking from one class to another. So take advantage of every single moment. Your goal should be to go home absolutely exhausted and needing a full day of not talking to people, because you've talked to so many people, you've learned so much, that you go back tired, but inspired and excited to do something new in your shop.
So, hey, let's talk about the Embassy Bar, Trisha. You stop short of just saying, Kim, if you go to the Embassy, and that's actually, they have a really big seating area right near the bar. I mean, you can hang out with hundreds of your friends with a cocktail. And I think I remember the last time there were Krispy Kremes hanging out there too, or something. I mean, I learned that in the South, they like to take a Krispy Kreme and put it in a waffle iron, and they do some other kind of really wild magic. There it is. Isaac Rotel brings his waffle iron. Thank you, Tracy. I remember.
If you know, you know.
So yeah, isn't it her and I were thinking along the same lines. But those are the kind of memories you walk away with. And so here's the point: if you've never been to ASTE, you need to go. If you've been there in the past and you want to go, you need to sign up at ASTEshow.com, and sooner or later it's going to be sold out. I guess our whole reason of doing this in the next 57 days is to motivate you to get off your best intentions, get that credit card out, and get there. Now, you mentioned training, ignition system failure and diagnostics, with Mark Isaac and Ryan Payne, who I think is with us. A streamlined approach to diagnostic dilemmas with Brandon Steckler. Delphi's plug-in power tips, and on and on. If you actually just scroll on the web and look at these, you're going to say, how do I get to all of these? And so here's the smartness. Rick, Kim, tell me if I'm right. You bring the shop and you assign classes to a few of your different peoples. And then when they come back, they share what they learned.
Absolutely. What I teach my clients or suggest is bring the whole class, bring the whole shop, have them go to different classes. But when they're there, before they get there, tell them they're going to put a 15-minute presentation on at the next shop meeting. Now, that does a couple of things. Number one, they're going to pay attention a little bit more because they've got to bring something back with them, right? Other than, hey man, that was a good class. So we really want to know what were some of the takeaways you had and kind of the aha moments that you've created. So that's really very, very cool. You do it that way there. But the other thing, and I just want to bring this up, it's a little bit of a rabbit hole. When you're in the class, ask questions, make comments, go back and forth with the team and with the trainer, because that's going to help you remember more of it. The more engaged you are in the class, the more you're going to get. If you're just sitting there and just soaking it in 30 days, you're going to remember less than 5% of it. Getting involved in the class, you're going to remember more than 50%. So get involved, talk to ask questions. Well, I have a problem with what you're saying here. Great. Let's talk about it. Right. Let's push back. Let's have some conversations. Let's have some fun. Trainers are there to help and serve you. We're not up there to look good. And trust me, we're not up there to look good. Good done left me a long time ago. So what we're looking for is really to serve and help you become the best version of yourself, to help your shop become the best version of itself. So be there and let's have some fun.
I would add to that, before you go, log into your Google Drive. Come on, everybody has it. Create a folder, ASTE 2022. Go ahead and create a note-taking document for each class you're going to take, and encourage your team members to bring, you can do it on your phone, you can do it on an iPad, bring your laptop, whatever you want. Take notes while you're in the class, and now everyone has access to that Google folder in your shop to go back and reference those notes. I love the accountability of coming back with a whole debriefing session, like Rick was saying, where they're teaching, but put the notes in there as well.
It's a great idea.
Yeah, it is, Trisha. Let me help prove that point, which is so cool. I've got this great graphic. Don't ask me why I have it saved in the office. We learn 95% additional. It sticks when we teach someone else. So
Absolutely.
to your point, Rick, we learn 50% if we see and hear, 30% if we only see, 80% if we have a personal experience. That's why that personal experience, by going to a conference like ASTE and then coming back and reteaching it, helps solidify and makes the ROI so right. And it's all about managing your training as a shop owner or a technician on purpose. You can't let it go and just say it's going to happen. You got to manage it. Rick?
Yeah, real quick. I've got to tell you, one of the biggest things I see happen when you bring the whole shop is you've got a team and they feel like they're just this little, they're just this little guy and it's no big deal. When they go to something like this and they see 1,000, 1,200, 1,500 people, right? All of a sudden they realize they're part of something much bigger, something that they can be proud of, something where they realize I'm a professional, right? The days of grease monkeys, Goober Pyle from the Andy Griffith Show, he's dead and gone. We're turning into Geordie LaForges, Star Trek Next Generation. And that's just a fact. So getting them to realize that they're a part of something bigger, the morale boost in your shop just from going to the conference is going to be absolutely off the charts.
Yes, it is. Well, look at Trish. I think we may have accomplished our goals, or at least helped motivate many of the people that are out there. We haven't heard from you a whole heck of a lot, Trish, but I know you're so busy doing things.
Wheels are spinning.
Yeah, I know they are. What else do we need to say here before we button this up?
Much like our organization, our mindset is to surround yourself with the kind of people that represent where you want to be. And the ASTE, it's a no-brainer in that regard, because you're going to bring your shop to the level that other shops that go out of their way to train and do team building and make sure that everyone that works for them is going to be on a higher level as far as what they're capable of and where they're going to head. And the other thing I do want to point out this year is we've added a couple other events with that in mind, like the whole team. We're going to have a Yang event, which is the Young Automotive Networking Group. So 40 and under at Drive Shack because we want to make sure we're also paying attention to our future shop owners. And we are also going to have a dinner on Thursday evening before the pre-party for the amazing women in auto care. So a little bit of if you have female staff members that are coming, you can register for that. We just found out about that yesterday. So that registration information will be forthcoming. But those are, excellent events. I'm not sure on the sponsor on the women, but I know Auto Leap is sponsoring the Drive Shack event for Yang. And the Auto Shop Owners Group, ASOG Dinner, of course. So the shop owners have their own little event. So this is a great opportunity for everyone to not just learn and train and network, but to kind of go in their special niche and, take a deeper dive into who they want to be in their role in the business and how they see themselves moving forward. So, and have that support once you leave, because we're going to have, in the event app, if you meet another shop owner or another young technician in your shop, that works across the country, maybe you guys can connect and build that relationship over time, or you'll have a support network of people who are like-minded, because a lot of the people in this industry tend to get bogged down in the mindset that, oh, it's so hard and this is terrible and this customer was mean. And, go surround yourself with people that are excited. We have an amazing future in technology. Cars aren't going anywhere. So let's have some fun and surround ourselves with other people that want to keep moving forward and really do great things.
So well said. Wow. Okay. So I think the challenge is out there to either get back to ASTE if you've been there before, because pandemic's behind us. Let's get serious about our future and about making training a very important commitment to your business. And if you've haven't been there before, hopefully we've convinced you that this is something a whole lot more than just going to classes for a few days. It's fun. It's more fun than you'll ever imagine. You'll walk away with stories like we've heard here today. I'll be there, and the studio will be there, sponsored by Shopware, and we'll walk away with a lot of great interviews. And as the learning continues, and Kim will be there from the Aftermarket Radio Network, and Brian and Chris and Hunt, all the gang members from the network will be there. It'll be a really cool thing. We have to have our own dinner out, maybe, guys. Who knows?
Yes, indeed.
So thank you so much, Trisha Sawz, from the executive director of ASTA, that is obviously puts together ASTE, and Kim Walker from Shop Marketing Pros, Rick White from 180 Biz. Thank you for your stories and for being here and helping us tell the story of ASTE. And oh, by the way, please, if you're with us till the very end and you're watching the video, please share it. Give this a link. I mean, get this out in your own pages within your own network. I think this is, again, as summer ends, the next biggest event that we're going to have going on at the end of September. So thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
Thank
Go see
you.
Kim. You got to see Kim. It's worth the price of admission. All by itself.